Okay, so I don't know how long this one's going to be, but I wanted to do a live thing. A lot has been going on. The attacks have been horrid. My opposition is so convinced that have they've won. And because I've had to fight with these Nazi dickheads for as long as I have, for year after year after year, of course I'm irritated about it. The fact that they were just, they've been given free rein. And I have to admit that in the last few days, I have felt completely disillusioned. I have. All I've been able to do is walk around and just say, what the fuck? You know, what the fuck? So I finally had to come to the conclusion that faith is being sure of what you hope for and certain of what you do not see. And I realized that this whole situation, for me especially, is just a test of faith. It is a complete test of faith. And last night, I went to bed early, but that's because I had decided no matter what, I'm just going to keep going. And it's funny because last night I was shown what's coming. And now I don't feel so bad at all. Let me tell you what I was shown last night. Trump and all the people behind him that are all connected to Nazi bullshit, which is, I know about all the Nazi shit because of my training and the way I grew up. And I know that he knows about it, Donald Trump, because his dad was at Hummel Park all the time. You know, key player. Fred Trump was a key player in this Nazi bullshit. So what's going to happen is that they're going to take office and they're going to be given enough time to set up house. They're going to be given enough time to set up house. And then two things are going to happen. One, the dark is going to claim Donald Trump. And the energy to make that happen was pretty easy to deal with because it was already there. We've all been anticipating it for years. And stuff, you know, the Simpsons that are prophetic, more prophetic than even Nostradamus, you know. People have had it in mind for years and have talked about it for years, which just adds to the energy. Energy, the first law of quantum physics is that energy can be neither created nor destroyed. And that's true. It can be neither created nor destroyed. But it can be accumulated and then however way you want. That's the stuff they were teaching me at Offutt Air Force Base. That was being able to influence it with consciousness, being going over to the other side. And heaven is in complete control. I don't even have to do anything. I was just shown. The dark is going to claim Donald Trump because they've already set that up. Heaven's going to use that to let the dark claim Donald Trump. But something is going to happen that's going to be biblical in nature, that's going to disrupt society. completely. Whatever is coming around the same time is going to just disrupt, it's going to fuck up everything. I'm kind of figuring what everything is going on. We're finally going to get hit with the Carrington event. It's going to fry the power grids and basically put the lot of us back into the dark ages. And the reason why they need to be able to set up how is because the people need to know behind them. Because the fuck part for them, and I'm talking all the people that are surrounding Donald Trump, cult is only good leader. But when it doesn't have its leader, then it all you have are the cult members. A whole group of people that your group has spent years drawing out their anger and hate. You've spent years drawing that gonna go away. And when you no longer have Donald Trump, who are you going to get to replace him? Vance? Vance is going to do what Donald Trump has been able to do. Stephen Miller, is he going to be able to do that? Corey Lewandowski, you know? And which one of them is going to be able to replace him? Because you're not going to be able to replace him. And your constituents are already full of anger and hate. And I know exactly what's coming because in the dream, I was taken back to the first time I was coming on 49. I was driving into Harlan, and there was this great big combine that had a sign that was Mussolini based. And I was brought back to the thing to where I had to think about it. And the first three words I thought when I saw that sign was Mussolini, it is. And the people who are all behind all of this crap are not going to like what happens to them. Because now because what the sign said was Donald Trump was right. But what people don't understand is that is not original. That's from Mussolini. In the end, what Mussolini had propaganda signs everywhere. Mussolini is always right. So it's not even, it's not even original. But the minute I saw that, the shit part about it is that this group they've down judgment. They have their intent. They know their intent. The misery and pain that it's going to bring so many people. But the whole be careful, the judgments that you met onto others because they can be returned to you is just as true now as it was when it was spoken and written down. Just as true. And things are not going to go well for this group. This whole takeover thing is going to go as well as Putin and the Ukraine war. He thought it was going to be over in a week. It hasn't been over in a week. War with Palestine, he thought it was going to be over in a week. It's not over. It's not even close to being over. It's not going to work the way it's going to backfire. And when I say that when I saw that sign, it is. Those weren't mine. That was kind of, I was just being reminded of the thought that went inside my head when the very first time I laid eyes on it. And things are not going to go well. Donald Trump is not going to be able to rein in his already most rabid supporters who are frothing at to be able to do whatever evil shit they want to do. And do you want to know how I know that? Because they're sending me emails. The Dead Isaac Cappy Club is sending me emails letting me know the reason why I have the threat in there. You know, I've been here when Donald Trump was president the first time. And so it's not like it's going to be different. In fact, this time it's going to be on steroids. But when things do not go well, the reason why it is important, Mussolini is because what happened to Mussolini, which they are promoting in people's heads with that weird ass, huge ass sign, is that Mussolini was drug out into the streets by the people. It didn't go well for him. And it's not going to go well for them either. Because they're not going to be able to rein in the chaos. And this is going to happen in 2025. It's going to happen. We've almost had a Carrington event. What, now? A couple times, I think? Maybe 3 times? And so, it is interesting that this is all happening at a time that the whole planet is being inundated with so much heat and gamma radiation from the sun, which is hitting us with solar flares and CMEs constantly. Like I said, we've almost had a Carrington event twice now. And so it is only a matter of time. But the gamma radiation is having an effect on all life on the planet. All life. Dude, if you can't keep up with the conversation, then go away. It's simple as that. You know, people don't need to lower themselves because you can't keep up. I'm not interested. The thing about it is that they have come and told you. What people in America don't realize, Agenda 21 never fucking went away. It never went away. Kill a people in a third of the people. It's a rule. That's Agenda 21. That's basically the theory of Agenda 21. And they're all connected. And it's interesting how it's all playing out now. Because I believe that we're in the period of judgment. And now all the masks are coming off. All the masks are coming off. If you have any dark, evil impulse to do whatever the fuck vile thing you want to do, it's being encouraged. That's what's happening, is that it's being encouraged. That's what Nazis do. And the group that child trafficking, global Nazi satanic pedophile ring. Beverly, we just have to be strong and realize that this is all coming to an end, but it's supposed to. You know, we have to stay strong. They're about ready to be claimed. They're about ready to be claimed. What'll end up happening is when they don't have their leader anymore, this group is going to become rabid, and none of them have allegiances to anybody else. At the end, we go into a time of lawlessness where people love themselves and the living envy the dead. Though that's how the time of sorrows is explained. And they're going to have enough influence to fuck everything up right away. You will all be surprised how bad, because there are things that are at play here that have been at play here for a very, very, very long time. The reason why I know so much about the Nazi agenda and all the shit that they are planning on doing and have planned on doing and stuff like that, that I was being taught. And you know who one of the people are other than Michael Aquino and Alan Baer? Fred Trump. Fred Trump was there too. You know, Fred Trump was there. Anton Scalia was there. You know, Hunter Thompson was a part of their group. There, but the dude was a freak. You know, they got off on their own power. That's what they did. They got off on their own power. I never knew them as the Illuminati. I never knew them as the Masons. When I was a kid, I knew them as the Order. You know? And it's interesting. Says now he hasn't talked at all about Donald Trump becoming president. The only thing he has said, and he's used these three words, New World Order. Exactly. New World Order. World Order. Only doing it out in front of people, but people are stupid. You know, people are stupid. And this is not like hasn't been planned for a long time. Right before JFK was assassinated, he came out. There was a plan to enslave every man, woman, and child in America, and he was planning on exposing that. But he didn't get a chance because the back of his head was all over his convertible in the street. What, a week later? You know, this has all been planned and instrumental in all of this. All around the world has been the United States CIA. That's who's been behind a lot. CIA, working with other governments, but the CIA works for itself, you know? Oh yeah, they may use MI6 and the Australian stuff and all of that, but the CIA serves itself. They're more organized than you think, dude. I don't know how long I was on. I'm reconnecting. This has been going on for a long time. A long time. But I will tell you that if they were going to, they wouldn't have had that blip with Biden, you know? But there was some shit that had to happen while Biden was in power that heaven was waiting on. That's what was working. And so now they're going to be given the stuff, but heaven's ready now. Heaven's ready now. And so they do want to, the thing about it is that they don't need to keep people, Americans especially, worldwide for being stupid. We can say whatever the fuck we want, but people in the rest of the world think that Americans are stupid and entitled, you know? And so, and in a way, you know, we just voted for camps and a retribution tour because we thought it would put some money back in our pockets. That's what just happened. Because that's what's promised. Camps, and that's what's promised. That's what they said they're gonna do, you know? That's what they said they're gonna do. And nothing that they do, now that Trump is president, nothing he does is illegal anymore. He can do whatever the fuck he wants because the Supreme Court just gave him carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he wants. Everything is he can do whatever the fuck he wants, you know? And isn't it interesting how it works that when things go down, what they're hoping is that the Democrats hate the Latinos as bad as the Republicans, just like the immigrant Latino population, because it's been really pushed that they helped put the vote over. And so it is interesting how it will work that way. And I know it's working that way because my TikTok is brand new. So I just have an algorithm that it just picks out whatever. And they're already making video after video of calling and reporting and turning each other in. Just like they did in World War II in Germany, you know? Just like it. That's the issue is that we're repeating history, but it won't, in some ways it'll repeat, but in other ways it won't repeat itself at all. It's not going to repeat itself. The biggest thing is that we're, you know, heaven is here. The very thing that they will tell you doesn't exist, God doesn't exist, they're the powerful ones. That's what they want you all to believe. They're the ones with the power. And if they don't have the power, they'll convince you of fucking aliens. Aliens have the power. Everybody has the power but heaven and God, you know? That's what will happen. But what's getting ready will be what's happening around the world. If we were living back in the time, everything would be biblical. You know, the F-420 that was less than a mile from my house this last spring would have been considered biblical in nature. Nothing's sacred anymore. Fuck, we live in a time of Hollywood mega movies. Shit, everything could fall down and it still wouldn't be enough. And so, but the people behind this Nazi bullshit, when you lose your fearless leader, they're going to drag you out in the streets like Mussolini. That's what's going to happen. You can count on it. You can count on it. And heaven is going to use the energy that's already there. You know, the energy is, and let me assure you, it doesn't make a difference if the dude falls over of a natural fucking heart attack. Believe the truth. They're all gonna feed their own shit. They're all gonna feed their own shit in their own heads and controlled by their own opinions. And they're gonna do what they do. You know, it'll be weird because what we're dealing with is a mentality of a civil war, and yet it's going to end up being a revolution. Because the revolution, they drag people out. They drag people out. But how do you think they're going to pay for the deportation of 19 million people? How are they going to pay that? Let me just give you just a thought. Maybe they've learned with this whole for-profit prison shit that they have going on in America, that'll be a really powerful workforce. I bet they put those people who are in camps to work so they can pay for the deportation and the shit that goes on. I bet you. How else are they going to pay for it? Is Mexico going to pay for it? You know, it's a simple economic thing. We're not going to have a stable society, dumbass. That's the whole thing that I'm saying, is that we're not, you know. The whole thing about it is that that's what they planned. But they're going to lose their fearless leader. And once their fearless leader is gone and the other dumbasses can't figure it out, because Vance and Stephen Miller and Corey Lewandowski and Steve Bannon and all of that are really good when they have the authority and the power that they do. But if they don't have that anymore, because most of their shit has been all focused behind one man. The problem, when you build an entire cult around that one, you know, you're good. If you lose that person, the cult disbands. That's how it works. Although I am sure there'll be plenty of them who will drink the Kool-Aid. You know, there are no is in control of all of it. And all he's ever wanted was for America to fucking fall. And he's going to have that. He's going to have it. And he's sick and dying. And so he wants it now before he loses that chance. And you guys can tell yourselves whatever you want, but you just voted a criminal in. And you like the lawlessness. And you like it because you hates the same people you hate. He's angry at the same people you're angry with. The world is not under control. So what do you think Putin does in Russia? So Putin isn't in control of Russia. You know, the rich aren't in control of the United States. It's just all like a free-for-all. It just all happens, you know? It just all happens. The world is out of control. The world is completely out of control, and it's going to get worse. We are being inundated with so much gamma radiation right now, and we have no magnetic field to save us from it, because the poles are getting ready to switch. They're in the process of switching, have been in the process of switching. But they go through a period when they switch that there's no magnetic field at all. And that's where we're at right now. Compliance is control, but they'll be compliant. You know, bitch and moan all the way to the camps, but they'll be compliant. And they'll be compliant because this is all going to happen as a shock and awe. Trust me on that one. It's all going to be a shock and awe. it's it's all going to be a shock and awe. I think people are afraid of the purge happening. And so, why are compasses still working? Fuck, dude, I don't know. If you have a problem with what I'm saying, go to space.com. I get my information from NASA. So, if you have a fucking problem with what I'm saying, then go to NASA and go argue with them, because that's where my information is coming from. You know? David Icke is fake. He's a gatekeeper. David Icke is a gatekeeper. You know? And he does what all gatekeepers do. They take some of the truth and mix it with so much bullshit that everybody throws out. The baby with the bathwater. No, I don't trust NASA. But what's happening to the sun is kind of fucking hard to miss, dumbass. You know? Oh, dude. And the little Nazi frog thing that you have with the sunglasses is really kind of weird. I'm just saying that's what's getting ready to happen. I don't know why compasses are still working. I just know that we're having problems with everything, you know? The thing about it is, I'm just saying, the dude's dad was a Nazi killing kids in Hummel Park. And the people that follow him, like many of you in here, are unpleasant. And you don't like anybody saying anything bad about your fucking savior. Because what? He is the second coming of God, is he not? You know, he's your second coming. And so, but your group just is kind of sad, because when Trump got into office, it was all of you who went on and said, Trump is in office, your side lost, get over it. 4 years we heard that. Then the next 4 years when Biden got in, oh my God, whined and bitched about how it was fucking stolen. And oh my God, it was fucking stolen. And now you're back to just being dickheads. You know, everyone should get it, you know. And so, did God spare Trump? You know, not only did God, he is a fucking savior. He got hit with the bullet, what, so big? And it ripped through cartilage. Cartilage doesn't necessarily heal, and at his age, but he's healed so well that there's not even a scar. You know, it's fucking miraculous. You're right. He must be on the fucking right hand of God. Right hand of fucking God. You know? Heals like Wolverine. And so it's interesting how it works. But we're in judgment. We're at the end. I didn't like Harris at all. I didn't like Harris. And behind Harris was what? Obama, fucking Hillary Clinton, all of Hollywood that's about ready to get busted for all the child trafficking. Oh, yeah. You know, she was great. If these two were the best that America had to offer, we deserve to be fucked. You know, and most of you in here think that you actually are intelligent, but I bet most of you haven't read a fucking book in your lives. Not a fucking book. Don't have a goddamn clue. Just have your opinions, and that's good enough for you. And that's the sad part about it. That's where we're at. And so it's just kind of interesting how it works. And I know that they're empowered, because the child killers that I'm dealing with, the ones that just took out Owen, which is basically, if you look at that thing, that's what that said. It's just an admission. They were in town. They fucking killed Owen. You know, they do that. And it's the same people that took out Isaac Cappy. The very same people he was trying to fight, trying to expose. This is the group now that feels incredibly empowered. They feel like they are old. Oh, dude, give it up. The thing about it is that I am not going to go through everything. I'm not going to defend myself over what happened when I was 13 having a psychotic break. I'm not. 44 fucking years ago. I'm tired of dealing with it. From a group that's a bunch of fucking child traffickers. That's what they're trying to hide. That's why they're on top of me. That's why they're on top of me. They're not on top of me because I'm a liar. They're not on top of me because I'm crazy. They're on top of me because I'm telling the truth. And they don't want anybody to hear the truth. That's just how it works. They just don't want anybody to hear the truth. And that's fine. Because even if people did have the truth, what the fuck would they do? They've shown what they're going to do. They've shown what they're going to do. Fuck the victims, because they all want to be like the perps. That's how it is. That's how it works. That's how it has worked. That's what we've all seen. It's all playing out. We're all watching it, We're just supposed to call it something else. But I just wanted to get out my little prophecy for 2025. I hated Harris. I thought she was just not only was America not going to vote for a woman, but they sure as fuck were not going to vote for a black woman. And they all had to know that. Everyone had to know that. Everyone had to know that. It's not a coincidence that everything is falling into place, And you can't convince dumbasses of anything, of anything. They'll tell you that oh no, because someone was in here saying, oh, there's no conspiracies. Okay, so every judge that dealt with the election case that threw it out because there was no evidence, that was a conspiracy, but conspiracies don't exist. All of the women who've come out against Donald Trump, that he sexually molested them, and he's on tape bragging about how he likes to sexually molest women, but none of that. Do you understand how it works? Do you understand how people have a problem with what is going on? That's why I say mankind's never going to do anything. They're going to vote for the perps. They always do. And I really have been tested, and with my faith, I have come to the conclusion that I am certain of what I do not see. I do think heaven is getting ready to deal with this. I think the reason why, so hate all you want. Go out and say the meanest fucking shit you can say about each other. Slit each other's fucking throats as much as you can. Take from your neighbor, because might is right. Do it. But you aren't going to like where you end up. You aren't going to like where you end up. And we're at judgment, And they're appealing to the basest of desires. Your hate, your anger, and your want. That's what they're appealing to. And a lot of you are just following like sheep, like it was always said you would, and you run around in groups feeding each other But what you're feeding is delusion. And Donald Trump is going to enact his daddy's dream. And his daddy's dream was a Nazi takeover, complete subjugation of all of the eaters and breeders. That's what they wanted. I don't want people to hate, dude. Obviously, I don't want people to hate. My message has been simple. Fill your hearts with love, or you're going to get claimed by the dark. But the whole thing about it is that what I'm finding with a lot of people, and I live in an area where it's, fuck, they have a sign inspired by Mussolini just right down the road. No one's accountable. They can justify their anger and hate. They don't feel accountable by their anger and hate. They are justified. They have justifiable hatred. That's how it works. People around here hating transsexuals. I don't know where all the transsexuals are that they're hating, but okay, whatever. I'm sure there's an army of them out there somewhere. I'm not all for transsexuals. I think living your life trying to be something else, it is just a life of futility. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be happy. Cut or add whatever the fuck you want. You can't be what you're not. And to do so is just, I personally do not think it's healthy. But it's going to feed, and society is going to break down. Time of sorrows. The living envy the dead. Lawlessness rules. These motherfuckers will take and shoot anybody they want to fucking shoot because they want to shoot them. And that's just everyone. We live in the wild, wild west. Only I think people back then had a sense of decency we no longer have now. And so, with that said, I just wanted to point out that 2025, I think, is the year. I think it's the year that society is going to seriously break down. I really will not be surprised if we get hit with the Carrington event. We've almost gotten hit with 2 of them already. And so you can't stop the sun. It hasn't even reached solar maximum yet. And as long as it took to get here, it's going to take that long to go down. And getting the magnetic pole back up with the poles that are about ready to switch, it's happened 180 times. It's not like it's a fucking conspiracy theory. It's happened before. We just happen to have it happening now. But unfortunately, it's at a time where the sun is inundating us. Because this time it's with fire. This time it's with fire. Fill your hearts with love. Stop following and worshiping men. Because they're only going to lead you right into the abyss. On both sides. But they all care about their power. That's what they care about. And you little eaters and breeders, and I'm one of you, we're all little eaters and breeders, they don't give a shit about us. They care because we're a drain on their resources. And that's how it works. That's how they see it. That's how Russia has seen it. That's how China has seen it. That is how the United States is about to see it. It's not like it's original. And that's what's going to end up happening. The American experiment is over. And chaos is about ready to ensue. Serious chaos. And it's going to work out as well as Putin going into Ukraine and thinking it was going to be over in a week. It's going to work as well as Netanyahu going in to the Gaza Strip and thinking it was going to be over in a week. It's going to work as well. You know? I voted, dude. But what difference does it make? What difference does it make? We get hit with the Carrington event and there's no more electricity. I can guarantee you, you aren't going to be thinking, oh, I'm a Republican. Oh, I'm a Democrat. None of that's going to matter. It's not going to fucking matter anymore. That's what nobody realizes. The stupid shit that we're focused on right now isn't going to matter anymore. When you don't have electricity, so you have no food, you have no heat, you have no air conditioning, you have no technology, that's going to have an effect on mankind, don't you think? And so well, I'm just telling you, chaos is coming. And you can tell yourselves whatever the fuck it is you want to tell yourselves, but it's coming. There's no way to thwart it now. There's no way to thwart it. And they're going to lose their leader. And all of a sudden, the little cult members who are rabid aren't going to have any more direction. And they're all going to go their separate ways and do their own little militia bullshit. That's how it'll work. And it's coming. Fill your hearts with love. Unfortunately, it'll make you an easy target. Isn't it interesting how it'll work that way? You know? Trust me, I know. The fucking Nazis are on top of me every fucking day, sending me threats. You know? That's why I did that short this morning and said, I hope you're all entertained. This is what the little child traffickers now get to do. You know, hope everyone's entertained. However, it is time for me to get off here. I just wanted to do a video. I no longer have the I can't tell you what's coming any more than anybody can tell you what's coming. I'm not on any bandwagon, but I just really, you know, if that bandwagon works for you, cool. Cool. You know, we'll see what happens when the camps start and who's going to pay for it. And all the little Nazis who think that they're indispensable don't realize Russia doesn't need your stupid asses. Don't you understand? Russia doesn't need you. You're pawns. Putin is way smarter. And you're pawns. But there's no hope in educating those who are desperate to remain ignorant. Not that Harris would have helped us at all, but I just think that God is and heaven is going to work faster now. 2025. I'm just saying. 2025. I'd be surprised if we're where we're at today at the end of 2025, because chances are not even close.